This episode is for men who want a cleaner, more grown-up setup, but have no idea where to start. So in this video, I'm going to break down how to do an accent wall the right way and when to just skip it completely. Okay, so most accent walls, they look pretty bad. And I don't mean just a little off. I mean, they actively make the room look worse than before. So the reason for that isn't the paint. It's usually because people treat an accent wall like a wall decoration instead of an actual structure. So in this video, I'm going to break down how to do an accent wall the right way and when to just skip it completely. So if you've ever painted a wall and thought, why does this feel wrong? This episode is for you. Okay, so let's get one thing clear. Not every room needs an accent wall. Most rooms do not. So an accent wall usually works when you already have a clear focal point. So like behind the sofa in the living room or behind a bed in the bedroom, kind of a natural focal point is already there. So if you're putting an accent wall on like a random side wall or down a hallway wall or a wall that has like windows and doors, stop. That, my friends, is how you end up with a wall that's super loud and completely pointless. So the accent wall should support the entire layout, not compete with it. And if you don't get this right with your space and your accent wall, they're just going to be fighting it out all of the time. So one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're doing an accent wall is they choose the wrong wall, then they try to save it with a crazy color. So if a wall doesn't already feel important when it's just white, painting it a dark color is not going to make it any better. It's actually going to make the mistake more obvious. Okay, so before you paint anything, stand in the doorway of your room, look around and ask yourself, where does my eye land? That is your accent wall. And if your eye doesn't land anywhere, you don't need one. This is usually where people really, they mess this one up on color. So bright colors, trendy colors, saturated tones on walls, that usually screams cheap, especially in an apartment. So if you want a wall that looks more grown up, you're going to want to stick with olives, browns, navies, creams, more muted tones. These sort of colors, they have depth. They're not screaming for attention. Your space and your wall color, it should feel intentional, not like you're trying too hard. Oh, and one more thing. If your furniture is already dark, then you want to do your accent wall a lighter color. And obviously, if your furniture is light, you're going to want to do your accent wall in a darker color because contrast, it matters. Texture beats paint color every single time. Here's one thing that most people never talk about. Texture almost always looks better than paint. Paint is flat. Texture makes shadows, it gives dimensions, it always looks way more expensive. So if you're trying to choose between a bold color and a subtle texture, choose the subtle texture every time. Okay, here are some budget-friendly wall options that you don't need a contractor or some crazy-ass budget to do. Okay, now hear me out. They actually have pill and stick panel that's like wood and all this really cool stuff. They have removable wallpaper. They have different paint textures that you can do with different applications that are so awesome. They create so much texture, so you don't even have to choose on a paint color. Now, obviously, for those things that you still want to make sure you are choosing the correct wall. The key isn't how much you spend on the wall, it's if the wall looks planned. Cheap doesn't come from budget. Cheap comes from randomness. You don't want a bunch of rando walls. Okay, so let me save you some time and some money. I'm gonna let you know when you need to skip the accent wall completely. So if your room already feels small or cluttered or busy, skip the accent wall completely. Also, if you're renting and you can't commit to the right execution for an accent wall, just skip it. And if you're doing it just because your room feels boring and you're trying to liven it up, that's not the solution. Skip it. You're going to want to do some different lighting or furniture placement or things like that for a boring room. So accent walls, they're more of a finishing move. They're not a fix. So a really good accent wall should look quiet and confident. If it's the first thing that everybody notices when you walk in, it's probably too much. So if this kind of helped you rethink your space a little more, subscribe for more no BS ways to make your space even better. So if the accent wall maybe isn't for you and your space and you want to still try to get that room that's feeling off on track, stay tuned for episode 12. Oh yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.